Hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Today's video has been highly requested. It is a tattoo tracing video. So I have done like a tattoo tour video once before, but a lot of you have asked for another tattoo video, specifically tracing the lines of my tattoos. Like I've said before, my tattoo is unfinished. The top part, this lovely lady here with the flowing hair, my little swamp queen. Let's move the camera down a little bit so you can see better. My little swamp queen is done up at the top here with the little flower in her hair and the beautiful flowing hair. She's got a little headband and kind of like a little circular halo around her head. My floor's a little creaky, sorry about that. Yeah, but the rest of it is not done. So my tattoo is on the front a forest. It's got a little toad here, or a rather big toad. I love frogs and I love toads. I mean, I like toads better than frogs because I just like how round and chunky they are, and they're so cute. Like, they're adorable. So I've got my little toad sitting on a big toadstool. That still needs to be finished. And then I've got a little snail with the little eyes there. And its beautiful little swirly shell. Here, get a closer look. Oh, somebody's dog is running around outside in the rain in an orange rain jacket. That is the cutest thing. Okay, anyways, got this little snail with the snail shell. It's so swirly. And then just some lines from where the mushrooms are branching off of. So I've got a bunch of mushrooms here too. And that's also something that I think is just completely adorable, are little mushrooms. Little mushrooms. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mushrooms here. And then there's 1, 2, 3 mushrooms on the front, and some leaves, and a fairly large pine cone with all these little spots here, all the little different parts of the pine cone, those little branchy things that come off the pine cone. So I've got my little forest themed sleeve started on the front, or rather the inside of my arm. And I can try and show it to you like this, but you can't really. It's a little awkward to do it like that, but this was my first ever tattoo. It's a little goose. Goes around with the little feather and the little silly little feet. eyeball and a little beak. I got this before I got any of the rest of my sleeve done. And I've talked about this once before. This was a tattoo for a cat that I used to have. His name was Goose, hence the little goose man. He was my very best friend. He helped me through some really tough times in college. It was kind of just always me and him, like we were the little dream team. But when Sabrina and I got together and moved into first our parents' basement and then our own apartment and then another apartment, the poor little thing, like he did not handle change well. And he moved way too many times. But unfortunately, that's just kind of the way our lives went. We had to move a lot. We're really hoping to settle in this place for at least 5 years, I'm hoping. Because for the past decade, I've never lived in a place longer than 1 year, usually shorter than a year. Anyways, that's kind of off topic. So he was like my best friend, and but he didn't handle the moving well, and he started peeing everywhere on everything. We spent literally thousands of dollars bringing him to the vet, trying different medications, trying different, like all different litters, all different foods, all different litter boxes, adding litter boxes, just a lot of different things, a lot of money. And unfortunately, it was determined that the peeing was unfortunately behavioral, and that it was very likely triggered by us, me and Sabrina. And it kind of just became like the way of life for him and the way of interacting with us. And so it was recommended to us that we try finding him a new home, and that might help him and make him happier. So we did. He ended up going to a home with 2 little girls to give him lots and lots of attention, which he loved. And as far as we know, he has not had one accident since, so he's much happier where he is now. And that's like what matters the most to me, is that he's happy, although it literally broke my heart to have to give him away. If it means that he's gonna have a better quality of life and we aren't gonna be so stressed all the time trying to help him and figure out what the problem is, then so be it. He's a happy boy now. But I'll never cover this up because he truly was my best friend and I miss him dearly. I'll show you this. When we gave Goose away, I was a mess. I was completely heartbroken, and Sabrina's mom actually made me some wallet-sized laminated pictures of him. It says Goosey. This is a picture of him in a box. Can't even tell where he is, but there's his little face. And I've got a few more. I've got 2 more. One's on my fridge, and one is actually in my wallet. I carry it around with me. I thought that was so sweet that she would make something like this for me. It meant a lot. So I've got these little Goosey cards. Goosey. Anyways, though, whenever I talk about him, I can go on and on forever. But that's not what this video is. This video is tattoos. So let's keep going. So I've got my little goose and my little forest scene here. And here's the toad. He's sitting peacefully on his toadstool, and he's so lumpy, and he's got this cute little grin. And his hands are all folded, nice and polite. So cute. And then on the inside of my arm, we are actually going to have kind of like a blue bell, kind of like a flower that comes up like this with a bunch of little flowers. it's just a completely floral sleeve. I'm going to keep it black and white, and when everything's done, it's going to look like this, shaded in like this, and there's some beads here, and a beautiful rose. And when I was kind of trying to decide what I wanted on my sleeve, there's more roses here, I gave my artist basically some general ideas of what I wanted, but I gave her complete creative freedom for the placement and for like how things looked, and she completely just did her thing and designed this sleeve. It was almost like a patchwork sleeve. When I went in to get it done, she had a bunch of illustrations and drawings that she had done, and she just kind of wanted to piece them together bit by bit on my arm. So it wasn't all done like as a full sleeve. It was kind of like done in patches. Like she taped all of these pictures and like built the whole sleeve with just patches of her drawings, and it was just such a cool process to kind of like watch how she worked and watch how she came up with this idea. So we've got, how many roses do I even have here? So I've got this one with all those beautiful leaves, and then we've got 2, and then we've got 3, and then there's 4 with the leaves going around my elbow. She purposely left my elbow untattooed because at the time, I still work with children, but at the time I was working in a daycare with infants. So I spent all day on the floor with the infants, and I would lay on my stomach a lot and be like kind of on my elbows a lot, reading them stories and playing with them and just hanging out with them. And she had recommended that if I'm going to be spending a lot of time kind of doing that and having my elbows on the carpets and, you know, at work, it won't heal properly, first of all, and the ink will fade very quick. And you can actually see that although there's no ink on my actual elbow, where the ink kind of branches into my elbow here and here, it has faded from that. Oh, I lost count. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 roses, and then 5. Yeah, 5 here. Is that another one? 6. And that's the toad. So there's 6, and then 7. I think that's a little flower there. Or is that leaves? No, that's leaves. So I think I have 6. There's a little budding rose here. 7. So I'm gonna have, I think there's 6 or 7 roses on my arm, which I love. It's just so beautiful. And it's been, I think, 3 years since I got it done. I still have not been able to get back to her to get it finished and shaded and have the last piece put in because it was COVID. So I was working during COVID, and then I was planning on going the year after to have the second session. This will take probably about 2 more sessions to finish because this first top part that's done, that was about a 6-hour session, and then the rest of the line work was another 6 hours. And to put it all together and get it onto my arm, and then she expects about 2 more 6-hour sessions. So COVID shut everything down where I am in March, and I was laid off of work for 4 or 5 months. April, May, June, July, 5 months. and I was living off of like employment insurance, and I was broke as heck. I'm gonna lift up the camera a little bit more. So I had to cancel my session to continue the sleeve and reschedule it for when I could afford it, because COVID put a wrench in that plan, as I know has also done for many people. And I mean, I feel fortunate that I was able to return to work when we opened back up, and also that the worst way that COVID affected me was financially. So I know people have had it a lot harder. So I had to reschedule then, and then everything was shut down. So I wasn't allowed to travel due to my work. I wasn't allowed to travel. I would have had to isolate for 2 weeks if I traveled outside of my city. And my tattoo artist is about it's about a 4-hour drive to get to her. So it's a weekend thing. It's where she works out of where my partner's family lives. So when we go visit them, I'll have to book another appointment. So I wasn't able to book with her because she was closed, and then things opened back up, and then they shut back down again. So once again, was not able to book. And I still, 3 years later, have not gotten my next session. So that is hopefully a plan for 2022. Fingers crossed. My artist, her name is Tiffly Tattoos. Check her out on Instagram. She's amazing. She's so artistic and has just these stunning designs. Yeah, this was a flash piece. She had posted this on her Instagram story up for sale as a flash piece, and I'm very spontaneous and a little bit impulsive, and I was just kind of like, mine girl, like tattoo me with that. So I booked it and went in and just got it. I just love the vibe of it. I think it's really pretty. I think it goes along with kind of what I've always wanted. The vibe to be like foresty, swamp, like nature-y. Swamp sounds gross, but I mean like snails and frogs. I love those. I just love snails and frogs. I'm kind of like, I used to go frog catching all the time as a kid, and still when I see a frog, I'm like, give me that thing. And same with snails, like and slugs, they're so cute. I'm a little bit like weird in that sense, like tomboyish, but not bugs. I hate bugs. I mean, I like caterpillars. I think those are really, really adorable. Anything without wings. I'm okay with spiders, but if it has wings and flies, it's too unpredictable and it can like fly all up in my face and stuff. I don't like that. So I'm actually like super, super scared of bugs, specifically wasps. And there's a story behind that I won't get into today. First of all, it's not very relaxing. Second of all, that maybe would make a good story time in the future. Let me know if that's a story you want to hear of why I'm absolutely of wasps. I actually got stung last summer on my thumb when I was out for a hike. That was my first time that I've been stung before as a kid, but I don't remember it. And wow, that's all gonna be part of that same like wasp story if you guys are interested. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. That's the story of my tattoos. I also do have a tattoo on my foot. Here, let me take it down. I'll show you quick. Sorry about the lighting, but this is my foot tattoo. I have shown this before in my other tattoo video. It healed absolutely terribly. It's my little tap dancing crab. This is my favorite tattoo of all. I think he's just like the cutest thing ever. His name is Basil. And he was also flash pieced by a different artist that I literally could not resist. So I had to get this when I saw it. So he's got his little top hat, and you can see that there's some like patches of ink missing out of his top hat. Like, he looks so weird here. It looks like a shrimp. But anyways, it says tap, 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 tap. And this part's basically completely gone. I really need to get it touched up. This little cane here. The reason that it healed so badly is because I, once again, was working at the daycare at this time, and I was on my feet a lot, and my foot was so swollen when the scabs were forming over the tattoo that every time I would put weight on my foot, the scabs would break and would open, like cuts would reopen on my foot. And the ink just, it did that for days. It was quite painful, but I didn't really have a choice but to walk, obviously. So the ink did not set properly. It did not take well in my foot, as you can see, but I am still obsessed with this tattoo nonetheless. It's very me. It's very me. And now all the kids that I work with love my tattoos. They think they're really fun, and this is one that they don't really ever get to see except in the summer when I'm wearing sandals. So whenever like the older ones who have seen this tattoo before start talking about my tattoos, they're like, she has a dancing crab on her foot, and they're all excited. Anyways, though, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you found it interesting and relaxing. It just started pouring rain outside. That's so cool. I love the look of rain. I hope you find it interesting and relaxing and satisfying. Okay. So, if you enjoyed this, let me know if you want to see more kind of exclusive content like this. And if you've got any ideas, shoot me a message. You know, I'm always all ears. And I love to hear your feedback and hear your ideas too. Alright, so thank you